These are observing 5 Upadana-khanda, 5 aggregates, subject to clinging as impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-so. There are 5 aggregates: Rupa aggregates, Vedana aggregates, Sinya aggregates, Sankhara aggregates, and Vijnana aggregates. Sankhara aggregates, the volitional formation aggregates, is somewhat difficult to understand. According to Abhidhamma, there are 52 mental states. Vedana feeling is 1 mental factors, 1 aggregates. Sinya perception is another mental factors, another aggregates. And the remaining 50 mental states are collectively called volitional formation aggregates. So there are 14 akusala sankhara. We finish moha, airika, nuttava, uddhacca, lobha, ditthi, mana, dosa, isa, michiriya, kokoja, and today tina, medha, and vichikicca. The twins are Tina and Medha, sloth and doubtful. Tina and Medha always arise together. We call them sleepiness. When we are sleepy or when our mind is not alert, then it is sure that sloth and doubtful have come into our mind. Sloth is sluggishness or dullness of mind, dullness of consciousness. The characteristic is lack of driving force. The function is to dispel energy. It is manifested as sinking of the mind. The proximate cause is unwise attention to boredom, drowsiness, etc. So there is sluggishness of citta. Medha, trouble is morbid state of the mental factors. That means sluggishness of mental factors. Tina has to do with citta. The other Medha has to do with cetasika. Since citta and cetasika always arise together, Tina and Medha also always arise together. They are never separated. However, Tina and Medha are 2 separate mental factors. When there is Tina and Medha, we don't want to do things. Our mind is not alert. The characteristic is said to be unwieldiness. And the function is to smoother. It is manifested as drooping or as nodding and sleepiness. And the proximate cause is the same as that of sloth. Sloth and torpor always occur in conjunction and they are opposed to energy, virya. When yogi have energy, sloth and torpor cannot come into your mind If you have energy, you do not feel sleepy. Sloth is identified as sickness of Chaita consciousness, so it is Chaita Gilinya. Torpor Meda as sickness of mental factors, it is called Kaya Gilinya. As a pair, they constitute one of the 5 mental hindrances, which is overcome by Vitaka initial application. So there is one controversy about Meda. So please be patient. It is from Abhidhamma. Controversy about Meda. There were some teachers who thought Meda was Rupa. So there is a book called Vimodimagga. Vimodimagga is considered to be older than the Visuddhimagga. In the Vimodimagga, Meda is mentioned among the material properties. Meda is mentioned as the material quality, not a mental quality. So Vimodimagga is said to belong to one sex in Sri Lanka. Some say that this Meda is Rupa. That is not correct because like Kamachanda, sensual desire, etc., it was included in those which should be eradicated. In Abhidhamma, there are dhammas which are to be eradicated by the Sotapadimagga, first enlightenment. Among them, Meda is mentioned. So since Meda is mentioned among those which can be eradicated, Meda is not Rupa. Because Rupa is said not to be eradicable. Since Meda is included in those that can be eradicated, Meda cannot be Rupa. Meda is Nama. Meda is a mental factors. It is indeed mentioned by the Buddha among the mental hindrances to be eradicated. There is giving support to his statement. But Rupa is not stated among those that are to be eradicated by the first path, by the Sotapadimagga, etc. Rupa is mentioned as not to be destroyed, not to be eradicated. So Meda cannot be Rupa since it is mentioned among the things that can be eradicated. Then other teachers said his view was correct because of the words of the Buddha. So Buddha said, Bhikkhu, Rupa is not your own. Give it up. Buddha said. So the other teachers picks up that Buddha sentence, the statement of the Buddha, and then that other teacher argues against those who take Meda to be Nama. Since Buddha said, Rupa is not your own, body is not your own, give it up, there seems to be an indication that rupa can be eradicated. So it is a dialogue. The other teacher also based his argument on the words of the Buddha. Buddha said, Bhikkhus, body is not your own, rupa is not your own, so give it up. Then let us say there is the other teacher and our teacher. Our teacher is always correct. And the explanation given by our teacher is that what the Buddha meant there is not to give up rupa, but give up attachment to rupa. Attachment to rupa is meant when Buddha said, give it up. So the eradication of attachment, which has rupa as an object, was meant there. What the Buddha meant was not to give up rupa, but to give up our attachment, which takes rupa as an object. That is why it was said there. And Buddha continued by saying, throw away attachment to that rupa and so on. In the same discourse, so be aware, it is very important that when we read something, that we read the whole things and not just a portion of it and then make our conclusion. In the sutta, Buddha did not just say, rupa, body is not your own, give it up. But Buddha continued by saying, throw away attachment to rupa, and so on. So what is meant there is not to give up rupa, not to give up body, but to give up attachment which takes that rupa as object. Then the other teacher might say, among physical and mental metas, they took it that there were two kinds of meta. One is rupa meta and the other is nama meta. One physical and one mental. Among these two metas, mental meta is meant or preached there in that passage. So there is still another meta, which is rupa, is what they would say. Then our teacher answered, no, because it was not specifically said that mental meta was meant there. Buddha did not use the words mental meta. Buddha used just meta. Since just meta was used without specification, we cannot say there are two metas. That mental meta was meant there. Then our teacher continued, it is possible to infer that meta which you take to be rupa is like mental meta, a mental hindrance, because it is meta. Since it is called meta, and meta is included among the mental hindrances, nivarana, are those that are to be eradicated. So it is a mental hindrance. Yet it is to be decided that Meda is not Rupa because it was mentioned as a co-associate. It is another reason given by our teacher. Meda is said to be a co-associate. It is associated with consciousness. It is associated with other mental factors. This co-association is mentioned of mental aggregates only. Only the mental aggregates, only the mental states, only the consciousness and mental factors are said to co-associate. Mind is not said to co-associate with Meda, or Meda is not said to be co-associated with mind. So Meda is not Rupa because it is mentioned as a co-associate. It was mentioned as a Chitasika, mental factors. Then the other teacher asked about Arhans going to sleep. Is that not Tina and Meda? What will be the answer? The answer is sleep. Sleepiness of Arhans who are free from kilesa, mental defilements, is caused by the fatigue of the physical body. When Arhans go to sleep, it is not because of Tinamida, not because of sloth and torpor. The Arhans have eradicated Tina and Meda altogether. When their bodies become fatigued, when their bodies become tired, then the weakness of those sentient bodies cause their minds to lapse into bhavanga, life continuum, a sleep-like process. So it is a series of sleep-like consciousness owing to the fatigue and weakness of the physical body. The minds of these arahants lapse into bhavanga, life continuum. So that is what we call the sleepiness of arahants. When the arahants go to sleep, they do not go to sleep like we do. When we go to sleep, we are not arahant. We go to sleep with Tina and Meda. Tina and Meda come to us and we surrender to them. And they overpower us and we go to sleep. When arahants go to sleep, they do not sleep because they are overpowered by Tina and Meda. It is because their physical bodies become tired. The physical body needs some kinds of rest. So the sleep of arahants is not caused by Tina Meda. The sleep of arahants is not accompanied by Tina and Meda. So sleepiness because of the physical tiredness occur in the arhants who have no mental defilements. At one time, the wandering ascetic Sichaka asked Buddha, Buddha, have you slept in the daytime? Sichaka, wandering ascetic, asked Buddha, yes, I remember. I slept daytime in the last month of the summer. Sichaka, the wandering ascetic, said to Buddha, sleeping in daytime was regarded as a form of samoha vihara. Samoha vihara means ignorance. So sleeping in daytime was regarded as a form of ignorance. Some people say. Although this Sijaka referred to the view of some people, in fact, Sijaka was implying that Buddha was not free from Samoha Vihara. That means Buddha was not free from moha, ignorance. And Sijaka covered his name and he said, some people said, actually he said. So Buddha said, sleep was neither moha, neither ignorance nor non-ignorance. That the person who is not free from mental defilements may be in moha, may be in ignorance. Buddha, who was free from mental defilements, was never in ignorance. So even Buddha slept, and this showed that desire to sleep because of physical tiredness is not to be described as nivarana tinamida, mental tinamida, mental hindrances. So we cannot say Meda is Rupa. That is the opinion of the majority of teachers in the ancient days. According to Theravada Abhidhamma, Meda is not Rupa, Meda is not physical, Meda is mental factors. It is included in the mental factors that accompany wholesome types of consciousness, akusala sankhara. So sloth and torpor is there when lazy to do something beneficial. The person is lazy to perform charity, even small amount of charity. If you do charity with loving kindness, a lot of benefits you can gain, but he is lazy to perform charity. So only just by taking 5 precepts, you can get a lot of benefits. If you observe sila, Very simply, you cannot go down to the lower states, but the person is lazy to observe sila. So very difficult very lazy to observe 8 precepts. Now for yogis, not lazy to observe 8 precepts. Some people lazy to develop metta. Metta is very easy. Whenever you encounter beings, may he be well, happy, and peaceful. May he be free from physical and mental suffering, etc. You gain a lot of benefits. A small amount of metta can be developed, and unnecessary anger, hatred, grudge, resentment, and other undesirable results can be avoided. A lot of benefits you can gain. But the person is lazy to radiate metta. It's very easy to radiate metta. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May you be well, happy, and peaceful. If you radiate metta sincerely, you can sleep well. You wake in comfort. Your mind is pure, and then you have no evil dreams. By developing metta, you are dear to human beings, and you are dear to non-human beings. All devas love you. And you are protected by deities. Fire, poison, and weapons cannot hurt you. The metta radiation everybody like, and you not lazy, and you radiate metta. Your mind is easily concentrated. And physical appearance, the expression of your face is serene. Importantly, when you die unconfused, mind is clear. So if you do not penetrate any higher stages, if you maintain your jhana by developing metta, you will be reborn in the Brahma realms. So to enjoy these benefits, you should practice loving kindness, but the person is lazy. He don't want to do metta. Lazy to listen the Dhamma talk. Lazy to practice meditation. Don't say 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Even the few hours he don't want to practice meditation, he's lazy. And some people practice meditation but not energetically and wholeheartedly. Now here in the meditation center, intensive retreat, yogi practice very seriously. So the kinds of serious intensive practice they're very afraid of. So other people are lazy when even to come to the meditation center to practice meditation for a few hours. If asked, those people say, I want to attain Nirvana. Nirvana is free from aging, sickness, death, and all kinds of dangers. Nirvana is really cherished to be desirable. but they are lazy to practice meditation. That is directly conducive to the attainment of nirvana. That is meditation, but they are lazy to practice. And they are not even willing to listen to the Dhamma talk. Some love to listen the talk, but lazy to put it into practice. So other people come and practice, but not effectively because they are lazy. So the result, sloth and torpor or laziness forms an obstacle to the Dhamma attainments. Sloth and torpor is compared to a jail where criminals are imprisoned. Prisoners do not have the opportunity to enjoy any entertainments as cinemas, theaters, and other places. Normal people are very free to take merry and recall their enjoyments like cattle chewing the cud. So normal people delightfully share with each other their experience of wonderful entertainment. They recalled how pleasantly the music is played, the actors and actresses speak melodiously, the singer are very charming, and the dancers are very beautiful. They delightfully shared with each other their experience of these wonderful entertainment. In this way, they enjoy the several kinds of entertainment, comedy, thrillers, tragedy, or whatsoever. But a prisoner cannot get a chance to enjoy such entertainment personally. He cannot take much delight in the entertainment narrated by other people because he has no own experience. In the same way, the lazy person would not come to listen to Dhamma talk like this. Intensive retreat, they never do. Even if people share this talk with him by explaining what the topics of the talk was and how it was elaborated and so on, he would not be able to appreciate that Dhamma. So in this way, even at the very outset, the lazy person has lost the taste of the Dhamma. Of course, only those people who have practiced the Dhamma diligently can appreciate unique flavor of the Dhamma. So many yogis explain their experience in the interview, the delightful experience. They just about their own experience. So we don't need to say anything in advance about what to experience, but the yogis experience themselves this stage. So some meditators experiencing the unique flavor of the Dhamma become so joyous that they have to, we have to remind them to have more progress. So we have to remind them not to waste the time enjoying the flavor of the Dhamma. So when Agusala Sankara, sometimes desire, sometimes depression arises, just note and reject. But when Kusala Sankara, piti, happiness, saddha, faith in the practice, happiness arises, yogi have to note and improve. So we have to remind them to note your happiness. When you see light, you have to see, you have to know seeing. When you feel happy because of the good practice, so piti sukha arise, note it. Note and it disappear, and then you progress. So indeed, unique is the taste of the Dhamma, as the Buddha said. Sabbarasan Dhammaraso Jinati. The Dhamma flavor excel any flavor else. So Buddha said, the taste of the Dhamma. So there are different kinds of flavors in our life. You can experience one kind of flavor when eating, another kind when seeing, another kind smelling, another kind touching, or anything else you name. None of these flavors can compete with the Dhamma flavor, Dhamma rasa. At one time, one female yogi reported her unique experience of Dhamma flavor. The Dhamma flavor cannot be compared to any flavor else in her life, she said. She had enjoyed many different kinds of flavor in her life, like flavor in her successful business, in a happy marriage, happy, happy family life, and so on. Then she reported inspiringly that she had found the Dhamma flavor excel any flavor else. Most probably some of you here in this yogi have ever experienced the taste. So those who practice without laziness can experience the taste of Dhamma. So now yogi practice the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the whole 2 months, practice continuously and seriously. Yogi never lazy. Without laziness, you practice and you can experience, because you experience the taste of Dhamma. But the unique taste of Dhamma cannot be shared with any other people, particularly with lazy people who never practice. However much I speak in praise of the Dhamma flavor, non-meditators would not understand it, like someone who cannot understand the flavor of the food. that he has never tasted, no matter how ever articulately we explain it. So the flavor of Dhamma can be understood only with those yogis, yogis experience. So only meditators can understand the Dhamma flavor. Indolent people, lazy people are totally in the dark about the Dhamma that progressively leads to the bliss of Mega, Phala, and Nibbana. So if the person is lazy, he would miss the great opportunity, although he lived during the shiny glory of the teaching of the Buddha. That is why a lazy person is compared to a prisoner who has no access to enjoyment. So we don't put ourselves in the jail of laziness. We try our best to get free from laziness, like a prisoner who always tries his best to be released from jail. True, it is not unusual that we are sometimes lazy to do something beneficial. Laziness may not be always a big problem in daily life, but during intensive practice, however, it is very important to note and remove Tinamita. As soon as we notice it, some signs, just as weariness and boredom. So remember, to be lazy means to be imprisoned, and when Tinamita arises, we akusala sankhara, we note and reject it. So the last akusala sankhara is vichikiccha. Is doubt. Doubt here means signify spiritual doubt from a Buddhist perspective, the inability to place confidence in the Buddha, confidence in the Dhamma, confidence in the Sangha, and confidence in the training. It is doubt about the Buddha, doubt about the Dhamma, doubt about the Sangha, doubt about the training. Training means training of sila, samadhi, and pinya, morality, concentration, and wisdom. Also, it is doubt about khanda, aggregates, doubt about ayarana, six and bases, eye base, ear base, etc., and doubt about dhatu, elements, earth element, water elements, etc., and doubt about both in the past and the future. And it is also doubt about the teaching of Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination. So the characteristic is doubting. The function is to waver. When there is doubt, he waver. He cannot choose. He is not sure. So it is manifested as indecisiveness, decisiveness, and as taking various sides. So he cannot decide which is correct. It is like when he is at the crossroad. He do not know which way to take. The proximate cause is unwise attention. So here doubt means about the Buddha, doubt about the Dharma, doubt about the Sangha, and so on. Sometimes at the crossroads, he is not sure whether to turn left or turn right. So that doubt is not akusala doubt, unwholesome doubt. It is just lack of understanding. Even arahants can have such doubt. Sometimes even they don't know if a particular action is allowable or not, if they are not well versed in Vinaya discipline. Not every doubt is Vichikicca. In a Buddhist perspective, it is doubt about the Buddha, doubt about the Dharma, doubt about the Sangha. So if he have doubt about the Buddha, whether there was a Buddha at all, whether Buddha really possessed Sabhinyutanyana, omniscience, or whether the Buddha was really fully enlightened one. This kind of thinking is called doubt. So the doubt is described in Visuddhimagga and Attasalini as doing harm to the practice. So doubt is not the doubt as to our daily affairs, like whether we should take this or we should take that road to our destination, or whether someone is Mr. Brown or Mr. What, etc. Such doubt forms no hindrance to our enlightenment. The hindrance is doubt about the triple gem. Is really, Buddha is really the omniscience, whether the enlightenment, Megaphala, and ultimate peacefulness are really what they mean, and so on. So such skeptical doubt is compared to uncertainty as a crossroads. Suppose, for example, a trader as a crossroad, when he reached the forest, feels uncertain of whether he should turn right or turn left, while the robbers are in hot pursuit in him. Unless he can overcome his uncertainty before too late, the robbers may catch and kill him right on the spot. So meditators resemble a traveler who goes into a new place, a place you have never been to. Of course, yogi have never been to Nirvana. You be only just momentary Nirvana. So yogi have never been to Nirvana, which is therefore figuratively called as a place you have never been. That is akatandism. So in the external world, there is no place you have never been to in the rounds of long samsara. So you think a new place, you think it a new place. So new place means just a place you cannot remember. So literally, there is no country on earth, there's no realm in the celestial realms, except the pure abodes that you have never been to. So you have been to all places. But Nibbana and the path to Nibbana transcend ordinary human experience. So exactly like a traveler to a new place in this world, Nirvana is totally new to us, and so we should strictly follow the guidance given by the Buddha without skeptical doubt about the Dharma. So Satipatthana meditation instruction you understand very well. It is very, very simple. You have to be aware of every phenomena occurring at the six senses. You have to be mindful of all psychophysical phenomena that are manifested at the six senses. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and knowing. Or you are observing the five aggregates. You are comprising the psychophysical phenomena. So what you are practicing is Satipatthana meditation. No doubt, whatever phenomena arise in the six senses, you have to note as seeing, hearing, smelling, etc. So by practicing this Satipatthana method, by practicing this only way, you will surely reach your destination, Nirvana. So there is doubt, the last one, the last Akusala Singhara. We continue tomorrow. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing Vipassana meditation, by Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, you practice continuously and diligently by noting, rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.